Hi guys, Corey Webster here with a video on the swing theory behind the untold secret to perfect impact. And again, the reason why I call it the untold secret to perfect impact is because I've been searching for what has caused perfect impact in my own golf swing for a long time. And I wasn't ever able to get a very consistent answer from anybody. I wasn't ever able to get a method or have anyone explain to me what it was I did that was well, or what it was that I did that took me away from perfect impact in my own golf swing. And that's why I call it the untold secret, because I searched out the best instructors, the best instruction, the best players. I played on tour myself, and it's been a lifelong journey really for me to figure out what made me good and what took me away from when I was my best. And I feel that I've found out exactly what it was, and because I've never been able to find it, I'm not saying that it actually is a secret that anyone's keeping from anyone, but I haven't been able to find it. So if someone does know it out there, they've been keeping it a secret from me. I've certainly looked everywhere for it, but now it's being told. It's been untold, and now I'm telling everyone so that we can find a common ground in the golf instructional business to work from. Now, there's a lot of swing theories out there, and the methodology behind this is the foundation of hitting a golf ball. Now, once the foundation is built, well, there's all kinds of little things that you can add. I tell my students a lot of the time, when you've got an engine in a vehicle, you have to make sure that engine is perfectly sound before you start putting high performance parts on it. I'm not going to take an engine that I have no idea if it runs well and it's 25 years old and start putting the highest performance carburetor on it and the highest performance air filters and the highest performance oil. The engine might blow up. It'd be a waste of my time and money. But once I know the engine is perfectly sound and functional, then I can start adding to it. And that's the same with your golf swing. And so this methodology is about building that solid foundation. And I've talked to other players and golf professionals and teachers about this, and it's basically intellectually undebatable that this is a solid foundation to work from. So let me just explain to you the simple theory of the untold secret to perfect impact. So first off, when we get the club in our hands and we get down into the impact position, anytime that we hit a solid golf shot, we're going to be in this position. Now, the reason why that is because with a square club face, you'll notice how there's a slight bow in this lead wrist, which also puts the angle in my right wrist. So if I take this angle out of the right wrist, you'll notice that I've got this look, which everybody knows that would be a flip through impact. And when we flip through impact, that means that something here in the swing, we started to throw or try to hit the ball, or we've stood up on it like this, and the club's flipping through rather than coming through controlled with a little forward shaft lean. Now, I don't want to get too technical into forward shaft lean and angle of attack and all these different things, because that's not what the untold secret to perfect impact is about. We're not about all these fine-tuning positions and techniques and everything like that. We're about the foundation. But what I'm explaining here is the impact position by virtually everyone is this position, and we all know that that's the position that we need to be in. Okay, so if we have the slight bend there, we're going to have it there, and if we have it, the angle here in our low hand, we're going to have it in the high hand. Okay, so we can chew on that. Now I'm going to go into the setup position, and I'm going to explain two movements that your wrist can make. There's only two movements. So your wrist, it can cock and it can hinge. Again, I'll come at this angle. It can cock up and down, and it can hinge. Hinge like the hinges on a door, open and closed, and then cock like this. And we'll cock in the trigger of a gun. Okay, so when I come down here, I've got these two movements. You notice that if I have wrist cock, look how the club's working. Now, in common sense terms, would this ever send a ball forward? No, it would pound it into the ground pretty good, but it wouldn't send it forward. Well, if I could do wrist hinge, you can see how that could send the golf ball forward. So when I take my hand here and I hinge, and then I put the club in it, it almost kind of works on a 45. Now if I get a little body rotation as I hinge it, you could see how I could get into that square position. Okay, so this is where the untold secret to perfect impact stems from. If I don't cock my wrist, I'm gonna get the wrist hinge for free. Because if I allow my wrist to be free, the weight of the club is gonna hinge my wrist for me. So if I would turn this way to the camera, and in my backswing, I basically kept my arm and club unit just together in a straight line. And this is coming from a couple different teachers. Byron Nelson comes to the forefront of my mind, who's someone that this was definitely the foundation of his swing. You bring the club straight back. There's a lot of other guys, Dustin Johnson, John Ram, who go on forever. And in the PDF and other videos, I go over in detail of other players that swing this way. If you notice now, my hand hasn't opened. My hand has not opened up here. It's stayed like that. I'm not holding it, I'm not doing anything. I just haven't done anything. I haven't lifted or anything. So I'm gonna keep coming. You notice the club head is now in line with me, and as I start to turn into the backswing, the weight of the club is now behind me, and eventually it's gonna fall this way. My wrist is now this way versus that way if I would have picked it up. If I had wrist cock, you're gonna see more of this at the top of the backswing, which you can see as I start to go down is gonna draw the club out over the top and pulling it into me. When I do nothing and bring it back and allow the weight of the club to hinge my wrist there, a la Justin Johnson, the #1 golfer in the world right now. Now as I start to turn back into the swing, the weight of the club drops down and it just comes straight into the impact right there, dead solid and square. So if you were strong enough and you had the strength that you needed in this arm, why would you ever take the club face away from square? You wouldn't. And I tell my students, to illustrate this point, if I turn their club around to where they had the shaft where it was nice and light and they had a club face on the end of this that didn't weigh anything, would they swing like this, picking the club up, or would they just go bang like that? You think of holding a tennis racket, straight shot. A ping pong paddle, boom, straight shot. You don't break the wrist or do anything, it's right here. So think of it with your hand on the club right there. But the thing with this club and the weight is it's heavy, especially when you get it into this position. So the whole theory behind the Untold Secret to Perfect Impact is to strengthen the fingers, the hands, the wrists, and the forearms. And when you strengthen the hands, the wrists, and the forearms, you've got to strengthen everything. So as I strengthen my hands are the furthest point from the center of my body that I use for gripping and strength. So the stronger my hands are, the stronger all this needs to be. So with the training videos, training level 1, 2, 3, and 4, we go through a bunch of different drills and a bunch of different things that just show you how to strengthen and start to build up the strength. Now as you go through all the training videos and the instructional videos and all the additional things that come with the Untold Secret to Perfect Impact training golf program, by the end of it, not only are you going to understand the method and understand impact better, but you're going to start to build a foundation to work from to where you can feel the proper parts of your body and how they work in the golf swing. You're not going to have to be told what position to be in because there's so many different positions to be in. When you get up to hit a golf shot, whether you're hitting it high or low, or you're hitting a draw, or you're hitting a cut, or you're hitting a high draw, a low cut, or you're hitting out of a divot, or you're hitting out of the rough, downhill, side hill, under a tree, over a tree, into the wind, downwind, in the rain, in the cold, humidity, no humidity, all these different factors, different grasses, all of these things, hard ground, firm ground, soft ground, all of these factors, you can't have one swing. It needs to be different. Your body can sense when things are different, and when you give yourself the right amount of strength your swing will come alive and you can start to make the movements that you want to make, not making compensations that you have to make based on the deficiencies of the strength that you need to make impact. So this is just a basic run through of the theory. All the other instructional videos will go through and detail every little piece of this method. The PDF will continually be updated, and go ahead and tear into the level 1 through 4 training videos, and let's increase your impact.
That was excellent. Really. You know what?